How did a school kid make $1,200?
I've been wondering, but my journey began messily amid various Telegram channels with their signals.
Is $1,200 on upscaling a serious amount for you?
Honestly, I really enjoy analyzing charts. The biggest problem was that I shifted the responsibility onto those guys who were given the signals. If I had known earlier, I definitely wouldn't have gotten involved.
Nikita just finished school and made $1,200 through prop trading without having any serious trading experience. This is Igor Fox, and you're on the Upscale channel. And here we talk about how you can get up to $400,000 in capital to manage through prop trading. Let's figure out how Nikita managed to do all this. Let's go. I want to ask you an interesting question. How did a school student withdraw $1,200?
I'm wondering the same thing. It's discipline first and foremost, and confidence in yourself.
So we're dealing with a disciplined and confident person. Well, then tell us a little about yourself. What's your name, where you're from, and what else is going on in your life besides trading?
My name's Nikitas. I'm already 18 years old. I finished school. Besides trading, I play basketball. I'm from Kyiv. Yeah, I used to play at a pretty good level. Now that's all in the past. I kind of quit. Now I'm all in on trading.
I got it. So we've got a sporty trader here. Wait, how much did you withdraw from Upscale?
1,240, I think.
And over what period?
Well, it turns out over a pretty short time. So basically, I bought the account and I think, I closed every day in profit. Like there wasn't a single day without profit. It was over 22 days, yeah.
Over 22 days. Wow, those are some record-breaking numbers. So you're an athlete, you finished school, and your payouts are incredible. When did you get into trading? And how long have you been doing it overall?
I started trading in 9th grade, so it's been 3 years. I only began prop trading this past May at the start of summer.
And how actively were you trading? So what did your whole journey consist of?
Well, my journey started off really messy. It was all those different Telegram channels with signals and stuff. The journey was tough. It was a really difficult path. Honestly, I don't even know how to explain it. There was a lot of tilt, a lot of anger at all those traders and info business guys. That's how it was.
It's been 3 years since you started developing and trading. Would you call yourself a professional trader?
Well, definitely not a professional trader. To me, a professional trader is someone who consistently, makes at least $5,000 a month. And for me, my trading income is still unstable. My technique is still being developed. I'm still adjusting my trading system and discipline as well.
So you could say you're still a rookie trader like you were 3 years ago, just a little more experienced.
I'm much more experienced now. Comparing who I was then to everything I've gone through over these 3 years, I've grown a lot.
All right, will you share your whole story with us? But let me tell you right away, when I hear that you just recently finished school and you already have these kinds of insights, it's honestly mind-blowing. And let's actually show them. So we're not just making bold claims. Let's prove that you really do have them.
So here I've got 5,000 in funding and profit payouts of 1,240.
That's awesome. I really like it. Have you told anyone that you're into trading?
Yeah, I have a friend. We're kind of in this together, side by side.
So how do people react when they find out what you do?
My parents are a bit wary about it, but my friends mostly respect me for it. I've already brought a couple of guys into this thanks to my own journey. I tell them about it and they wanted to join in too. I even gave your prop trading platform a little plug, just in passing.
Listen, when I see $1,240 on my screen, it's hard not to pay attention. As for people being cautious about it, well, you've got a good head on your shoulders. But for now, all I see is a hoodie with a pug, but I'm pretty sure there's a head in there too. So how did it happen that you decided to get into trading?
Well, actually, it was a long time ago. I think even before 9th grade, back when there was all that usual stuff like Altazan and all that. I was watching all of that, but I was just kind of scared to ask my parents for their documents so I could register on the exchange. Basically, I just chickened out. Back then, I didn't know anything about prop trading, so I was pretty skeptical about it because I understood it was a pretty risky thing. Not everyone can manage to make a steady profit there.
So what's your main motivation for doing all this?
I think my motivation is not to have a regular job, not to go in every day, waking up every morning from Monday to Friday. I'd like to make this my main craft. I'd even say more than that, maybe. Yeah, to reach a steady, stable profit and live off of it. Because honestly, I really enjoy analyzing charts, figuring things out, all that economic stuff or whatever.
Is $1,200 on Upscale a serious amount of money for you?
That's a very solid amount because before this, I never made that kind of money at all. I'll even go further and say that for the past 3 years of my trading, well, they were actually pretty unprofitable.
Since they were unprofitable, can you share what main difficulties you faced on centralized exchanges before Upscale?
The biggest problem was that I basically handed over responsibility to those guys who gave signals in the Telegram channel. I completely trusted them. You could even say that my capital was in their hands, but it didn't lead any success. So I think that was the biggest problem. Another issue, I think, was fear, being afraid to try something new. The first time I tried something new, you could say there was a small success.
So, once you adapted to trading on CEXs, what were the main difficulties you faced compared to prop trading? Or maybe some differences that you really noticed right away?
It's harder to trade with your own capital. Well, it was harder to trade because, I was kind of trading based on signals without really thinking, and it was frustrating to lose my own money. But in prop trading, since it's basically not your own capital, it's a bit easier to take losses, back and forth. Prop trading is much easier than trading with your own capital. With your own capital, I think you need like at least $2,000 to really make good money. But in prop trading, they already give you a minimum of 5,000, so you can just go ahead and start.
So, on the exchange, the main thing that holds you back is really the size of your own capital.
Yeah.
So, for those who, like Nikita, want to trade not with their own capital, but with capital that's given to you to manage, the link is right in the description below the video. So, Nikita, you said that you made $1,200 on a prop trading platform. Let's take a look at what your trading strategy was, the one that actually helped you realize this potential.
First and foremost, my trading system starts with market analysis. There might be some zones of interest or areas that aren't interesting. I look at the charts and draw different levels for myself to understand the situation. But mainly, I focus on macroeconomics, the strength of the dollar, bonds, and the stock market. Then I use ETF inflows and outflows. They help as well. Liquidity zones are basic. And then I also use density levels. That's pretty much my entire analysis. Also, of course, I keep an eye on the news. There are channels with news updates. I watch what they post and what they don't, and based on that, I enter trades. But I enter carefully. When trading, I aim for a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio, depending on the market. I might take a 1-to-1 ratio, though rarely. Only if I'm 100% sure about the trade. Well, that's about it, I guess. Yeah.
So, overall, you hold your trades during the day.
Yeah. I'm a day trader.
Considering that you could say you're still learning, your thinking is really solid. Let's imagine I'm your buddy sitting at the next desk. I see this thing you've got going on, and I ask you, how do you actually make money with this? Show me what you do to figure out how to make money here. Give us a little walkthrough analysis.
I definitely tell my desk neighbor that this isn't something you can do in a day or even in one evening. First of all, it's really about getting used to looking at the chart. Yeah, because I don't think there was a single day in these 3 years when I didn't look at the chart. Every day I looked at it. I've seen a lot. I think that being visually familiar with the charts is one of the most important aspects in trading, because when you've seen enough and have some experience, you more or less understand how my coins move. So that's how it is. And to actually make money from this, well, you really need that visual experience. You can also start with some channels. Well, for me, it's not really desirable, but it would be useful to talk about this whole journey.
All right then, go ahead, show me. That's all. I've already seen enough, basically. I have an understanding of these kinds of densities, news, that sort of thing. Do an analysis for us. Do a Bitcoin analysis.
You mean Bitcoin specifically? Well, I don't really do that much. I mean, you can check out what's going on with bonds and all that, but just a dry analysis? Okay, so recently I drew something for myself. It was called DPR, and I went short from there. I had my take profit here. That was one of the latest trades. Also, I pay a lot of attention to FVG on the 4H chart. But on the daily, I usually break down the high and low. Right now, I don't like that we haven't taken this out yet, and I'd really like to see it get taken out. I feel like we won't get far without it. Right now, I'm watching the 65K range. If there's a breakout and we hold above 65K, then I'll probably be looking at some long trades.
So, do you use any indicators when you trade?
Not really. I occasionally use sessions like Frankfurt or London, but it's rare. I can't even remember the last time I did, so it's mostly a no.
So, basically, you trade based on levels. That's exactly what we've drawn here.
The main ones are drawn. I try to trade the structure, like a downtrend or uptrend structure. Right now, we have a downtrend so far.
Okay, and now, for those who are just starting out in trading, give some advice on where they should begin their studies.
First of all, I would recommend studying, or rather getting familiar with, prop trading because, well, if I had known about prop trading at the beginning of my journey, I would have definitely dived into it because it's honestly a pretty solid topic. And for those who don't have a lot of capital, I would especially recommend looking into prop trading first. And if we're talking generally, I'd probably say don't be afraid to try something new. That's for sure. I'm speaking from my own experience. And definitely don't listen to anyone else. Because honestly, no one knows better than you how to live your own life. That's what I'll say. That's my advice for beginners.
Listen, I really like that. I really do. I'll even add something about prop trading. By the way, Upscale offers a free demo account, which you can find through the link in the description and try out what prop trading is, what risk limits are, all without any investment at all. So, everything Nikita just mentioned, you can try it all absolutely free, 24/7. All right, so look, I see on the screen that your trading strategy is showing moderate effectiveness. That's neither good nor bad, but still, the result speaks for itself. I have a question. Why is your risk reward ratio per trade 1 to 3 when earlier you told me it was 1 to 2?
Well, this account was closed a bit earlier. Well, what do you mean by earlier? A while ago. Yeah, actually, it was last month. And I mentioned earlier that my trading system is still in development. I'm tweaking it, refining it, kind of adjusting it. And here, to be honest, I think there were some signs of, let's say, a bit of gambling on this account. Let's just being straightforward. Well, just a little bit. No, but for the most part, of course, I was trading based on analysis.
So, look, here we are looking at your closed account, the one that brought in $1,240. What mistakes from your side would you highlight that people starting their challenge on Upskill should avoid?
Well, one of my mistakes was that I rushed into trades and often invested a significant portion of my deposit. That was probably a mistake because, there was just this short bullish period and I really wanted to make some good money. Well, just above, actually. After that, I decided not to repeat it, and I won't because I think it was a bit foolish to enter trades like that. It wasn't half my deposit or anything, but it was still a significant amount. For example, with a 5 grand deposit, I was entering trades with about 1200. So, yeah, that's how it was. And I'd also like to highlight that 80% of trading is basically waiting, and not everyone catches every move. Honestly, I'd say no one catches every single move, so it's okay to skip something if you're not sure about it. The most important thing is to be confident in your trade. If you're even 20% unsure about a trade, it's probably better to just skip it.
I just realized we never found out how you got into prop trading in the first place and why you decided to give it a shot. Could you share that with us, please?
Like I mentioned before, I tried trading with my own capital, but it didn't really end in much success. Then, well, a friend of mine, a really good friend actually, who's been right there with me, subscribed to yet another trader from a Telegram channel. But this particular one happened to be your partner. As my friend said, he suggested we give this whole thing a try. He bought the first account. He actually blew it though, lost 5 grand on it. But, that's how we got into this whole thing, so to speak.
How hard was it for you to figure out prop trading, the interface, and the rules?
I really want to emphasize this 100%. The interface is, well, as user friendly as it gets. I'd like to say that compared to like TradingView, funding pips or FTMO, the interface there is, well, not great. Honestly, I'd say it's terrible. But on Upscale, everything is crystal clear. You don't have to log in anywhere, mess around with anything. You just go into Telegram, press a button, and that's it. Right in front of you, you've basically got a working prop terminal, like a workspace, so to speak. And that's it. And you're ready to start trading.
I'll also point out here that yes, we really are available on Telegram. So you can trade from your computer or on the go, like, I don't know, sitting on the toilet or on the bus on your way to work. Just open the Telegram app, trade, do whatever else you need. So you're always connected to the market. In that case, I have a logical question. You mentioned that our interface is more convenient compared to, let's say, our industry peers. What would you say about centralized exchanges? Like, I don't know, Bybit or Binance compared to Upscale?
Personally, I've used Binance. I've also used OKX. Well, when you go into the future section, like the first time my buddy and I went into the future section, we had no idea what was what, where to go, or what these leverage things even were. We didn't understand anything at all. It probably took us about 2 weeks to figure it out, but then we got the hang of it and things started to take off, so to speak. On Binance, it just feels the nicest. I don't know. Well, they're all pretty much the same, but Binance just has its own vibe. That's where we started out, and it kind of has its own atmosphere, you could say.
All right, sounds good. And how does it compare to a prop firm? So you had experience on a centralized exchange, then you moved to a prop firm. How was that?
I'd say there aren't really any huge differences, nothing major. After all, you've got futures here and futures there. But I don't know. The interface here is just a bit nicer, I'd say. It's convenient that the chart is right there, kind of open on the side like that. That's something I really like. It shows you where your entry point is, your stop loss. Well, that's kind of basic, but here it's shown in a really convenient way. It's nice that you can just open limit orders like that. That's also really convenient, right on the chart. You don't have to type it in, look up the price, remember it, and enter it. You just click the plus, set a limit short, and that's it. You're good to go. That's also super convenient.
What do you think played the biggest role in your successful completion of the challenge?
First of all, my persistent buddy, 100%. I think he'll be watching this interview with a smile, but I think that's one of the reasons. It's him because he's such a go-getter. He really goes all the way. Second, it's probably just the desire to finally make some real money at 18, to earn a bit on my own. Before this, I just hadn't had that kind of income. And then this opportunity came up, and things actually went pretty well for me. Third, well, discipline. I'd recommend everyone start working on their discipline right away, because discipline is one of the most important aspects in trading.
Are we going to do shout outs to our buddies on the air, like on the radio?
Shout out to Artium. Hey there.
Artyom, a big shout out to you from all our subscribers as well. Let's all send a shout out to Artyom. Let's get back to the moment when you withdrew the money. $1,200. 18 years old, just finished school. What were your first emotions at that moment when the withdrawal hit your wallet?
I'd say it was a feeling of relief, because after 3 years of losing trades, to finally make a profit, and not a small one at that, show up in your wallet, well, first and foremost, it's relief. Second, probably pride. Third, happiness.
Would you describe it as a kind of life change?
Oh, a life change? I'd say, yeah, probably. Because it's like I proved to myself that I could do it. Well, anything is possible, really. You just have to believe and see it through to the end.
So where did that $1,200 actually go?
First of all, I gave part of it to Artyom for his incredible help. That, well, you just had to go through it with him. Those were some intense emotions. I spent some of it on myself, on little things, like going out with a girl, stuff like that, here and there.
So you're boosting the birth rate through trading. When's Artyom going to be on our interview? Tell me, please.
As soon as I make my first withdrawal.
All right, well, make sure you let me know. We'll set it up. I'm curious to see this Artyom.
Definitely, sure, no problem.
Look, as far as I know, after your withdrawal, you also bought a few more accounts on Upscale. Why'd you decide to reinvest the money instead of just spending it all on girls and sushi?
I spent most of it on prop firms, kind of invested a bit in the villagers too.
Look, there's an opinion that in trading, without a lot of money and experience, you can't really get anywhere. So what would you say in response to all that to your peers, to young guys, or to those who are just starting out in trading?
First of all, I would say that you don't need a big capital. For example, I never had a lot of money. The most I ever had at my peak was $200. That was like when I was still trading based on signals. So I turned $100 into 200, but then I lost it all. Yeah, that's just to jump straight to the end of that story. But I would say you don't need a big capital. Well, like to earn a little, to live comfortably, you don't need a lot of money because there's prop trading. Honestly, it's really a must-have. I've heard a lot of stories where people, are at their limit. They take their last $100, buy a prop account, and close it out, and that's it. And then they just live it up, so to speak.
Actually, we have an interview with Ernest. There are already 2 interviews with him on our channel. As of now, he's already made 9 payouts from a single account. So he took a $10,000 account and has already withdrawn more than 40% of that deposit in total. So basically, through prop trading, without having his own capital, he's already earned enough money that he actually has a minimum account of $5,000. And overall, when we look at your case, yeah, boom, your max was 200. Then you pass the prop, boom, now you have 1,200.
Better. If I'd spent those $100 on the prop instead. Honestly, if I'd known about this sooner, I would have jumped right in, because it's a really cool thing.
Nikita, before we wrap up, do you have one final thought to share with everyone who is watching us today?
First of all, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of anything at all. I wouldn't say we only live once. We live many times, but you have to try everything. Sometimes things won't work out, but nobody's perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. The only exception is some kind of robot who just sits at home and never goes anywhere. He just doesn't have a chance to make mistakes because he never tries anything.
At the end of the interview, I want to send a shout out to Artyom. And for everyone watching us, don't forget to like, leave comments, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss new episodes about how prop trading can change your life. This was Igor Fox. See you at the top.
Prop trading is the best thing ever. Take care, everyone. Bye, everyone. I don't know what to say.